Hello, welcome to update 3 of my Honest Fitness journey. If you are interested in some of the other videos, I will provide a link below. It has been 79 days since I posted the first video, and I had started the journey a little bit before that. I've lost in this last month about a pound. And I have to say, it feels so good when you reach a goal or when you just feel better. Maybe your clothes are a little looser or you're just feeling a little lighter on your feet. And that's how I feel right now. So although it's only been a pound this last month, it's actually been about a pound a month, which is not some stellar achievement, I realize, but it's going in the right direction. I'll take it. I last did an update about a month ago or so, and honestly, I don't know where the month went. I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, but when I went to sit down and prepare for this video, I thought, what have I been doing this last month? And again, it's a little embarrassing, but that's how life is. So it's part of this Honest Fitness journey. A month can go by, things happen, life happens. It's not like we are getting to sit around in a spa setting all day and concentrate on our health and wellness. I did look back though, and what this month was all about and kind of what I want to share with you is lots of socializing. I think this is a common kind of challenge that we deal with in life, and socializing is fun. Of course, we're going to want to do that. Family, friends. Also, some aches and pains that kept me from exercising as much as I would have liked to, and this is another reality of life. Said it before in the other updates in these videos. If you don't know, I've been on a diet for a really long time, since I was a child. And something that I've learned is it's a lifestyle change. It's not something you can accomplish and then forget all about. You have to incorporate it into your lifestyle and really make it your lifestyle. And on that note, I hope you don't mind, but I want to just pay a little homage to Richard Simmons, who passed away recently. If you don't know, he was a fitness instructor back in the 80s. Even I thought it was the late 70s, but maybe it was the 80s and the 90s and beyond, way before we had the internet. And he said something that really stuck with me. He said, it's not a diet, it's a live it. And I think that's the first time I realized in my mind, this is a lifestyle. And I think that's the context he meant it in. I can't really remember, and I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it, but he did a lot of work. He had a positive influence on me, especially that phrase, which I still carry with me today. So thank you, Richard Simmons, for all the great work that you did. So as I said, I've really only lost about a pound since my last update. So I've been averaging about a pound a month. But that's okay. If you have a goal or something that's different, you might want to try to lose some weight faster, but slowly achieving your goals is an okay way to do it too. In fact, I think it's a little bit healthier, especially if you're incorporating in a healthy lifestyle. And something great that's happened for me is that I've reached and have been maintaining that tipping point weight for me, where I'm feeling better, I'm feeling stronger, I'm feeling leaner, I don't feel so puffy, I look better, I think. So that's been really, really exciting. And if you're new to my channel, when I'm talking about weight, I'm talking about maintaining a healthy weight and a healthy lifestyle. That's it. I'm not trying to advocate for being skinny or not being skinny. I should probably say I'm not a doctor or a fitness expert, but I am a woman who's been on a diet since 3rd grade. So I've kind of learned a lot along the way. One of the challenges this month was a lot of social activity. We went out, I don't know how many times. One time we went out 5 days in 1 week. Maybe it was 6 days in 1 week. This can really be challenging. I tend to approach it the same as I always do. I try to stay away from the high-fat stuff, stay away from a lot of the carby stuff like chips, breads, or actually I don't stay away from them. I just eat them minimally and try to fill up on vegetables and lean protein. And I know that this sounds so boring. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to say the same thing every single time. But that's because that's how I manage it, and it's a common way to manage it. And there's actually a lot of variety in that little grouping of foods, if you look for it. So if you're going out to eat, that can be relatively simple. I always go for a salad with a protein on it if it's lunchtime, and then usually as many vegetables as I can get that are not saucy and covered in butter and fats, and a lean protein for dinner. I mean, doesn't seem exciting, but there are some fun alternatives within this group of foods. And something that you can do is ask for the dressing or the sauce on the side. I almost always do this because the sauce can be so caloric. There's usually a lot of fat in it and or sugar. Yes, it's delicious, but it just racks up calories and it really doesn't do anything good for your body. A little bit of fat is necessary for sure, but it can just add up so quickly. So I try to minimize that, get in good vegetables, a little bit of the sauce. And I do put a little bit of the sauce on because I want it to be good and I want it to be delicious and I want to enjoy my food. So I do use a little bit of sauce, but I just regulate it. Appetizers at a friend's house can be really tough. Often there's a lot of cheese, a lot of bread, a lot of crackers, chips, dips, all the kind of things that we should either be avoiding or eating in moderation. So one of the things that I will do is eat something before I go. This is a great strategy if you're going to a party or something. Just don't show up really hungry because then it's really hard to moderate yourself with all these foods that tend to be available just for picking up and snacking, and you can really rack up some calories that way, and the kind of calories that aren't necessarily great for your body. Try to scope out the veggie tray. Hopefully there is one. I always bring one when I'm bringing something. I usually will bring a vegetable tray with some kind of a healthy dip. So see if you can find that. If there is a vegetable tray with dip, just go easy on the dip because again, those dips can be really caloric, and fill up on some vegetables. Also salsa, the traditional salsas with tomatoes and peppers, those are free for me. I don't even count those kinds of things. The calories are generally very low. So that's a better dip alternative for you than say a creamy dip. Having a glass of water handy or some unsweetened tea or something like that so that you can mix it in with the alcohol. If you do drink alcohol, I do, it's a lot of calories, not to mention it's not great for your body. So kind of having something else to mix in so that you're not drinking too much is going to make a big difference too. Again, those are a lot of calories. So part of the reason why I have only lost a pound is going to all these social events. But again, that's life, and I will not sit here and advocate for don't ever have any fun or enjoy some delicious food or a cocktail or a glass of wine. Just try to find a way to moderate it. If you're new to this, it may not be easy at first, but just try it and you'll be surprised. Little changes will make a big difference, and I think you'll feel better. And if this is something you do regularly and you've got some tips and tricks, please leave them in the comments section below. That would be really helpful. Something else that was a challenge for me this month is I have been exercising regularly. Exercise is my saving grace. I could never maintain my weight or lose any weight without it. I really rely on it and I like to do it. It's enjoyable for me. It's fun. But I did aggravate an old tendonitis issue in my elbow, and then more recently I pulled a muscle in my lower back. Now, none of these were big deals. This isn't anything that was debilitating for me, but it was sore and I could tell, or I kind of stressed that out a little bit. I am someone who believes in if something hurts, pay attention. Pay attention to your body. You need to rest that. That's what I think. Please ask a doctor or your physical therapist or something. But my opinion on this, and I think it's kind of common sense, so I feel okay about saying it, is if something's sore, then rest that part. But be careful of not doing any exercise at all if you are incorporating an exercise routine into your fitness plan, which I do think is really helpful. So what I do is I find something else to do. So when I hurt my elbow, I kind of I stopped going to the class that I like to take. It's a weight training class, and that's probably how I aggravated my elbow, because what happens sometimes when you go to classes is it's easy to get all enthusiastic and you want to keep up with what everybody else is doing, and you might do something that feels uncomfortable. And that's probably what I did. So I kind of laid off on that. I did some exercises at home instead, where I'm still doing some weight training, but I can be a little bit more selective in what I'm doing so that I wasn't aggravating my elbow. And I also have a little elbow brace that I would sometimes wear. So that's what I did. I have gone back to the class, and something else to think about if you are taking classes is it's okay to modify. It's okay to modify. And if you don't know how to modify, it's okay to go ask that trainer maybe before class, let them know what you're experiencing and ask them for some modifications. Another one of my favorites is walking, of course, if that is something that you can do, if it's not a knee or a foot issue and you can walk even slowly, that's a great alternative. Swimming, if you have access to a pool, swimming, or even if you're not a swimmer, walking in the pool can be a great exercise. Little tip, if you haven't done it before, is to get those little walking shoes so that you don't tear up the bottoms of your feet. That's kind of a weird thing that can happen when you're walking in a pool, so I figured I should mention it. Also, the recline bike, if you have access to one of those, is great because you can sit. And even though it's not, a ton of calories, or it's a little bit of a more relaxed exercise, at least you're still moving your body, because something that you don't want to do or should try to avoid is that cycle of getting out there, doing some exercise and working out, hurting yourself, having to stop, not doing anything at all. You lose any fitness that you gained, you start again, you hurt yourself again, stop, lose any fitness that you had gained, that cycle. I don't know if any of you have ever been in that cycle, but it's one to try to avoid. So if I hurt myself, I rest that part. And so I did have to do that this month. So I wasn't able to do as much exercising as I would have liked to, but I did still exercise. On that note, I forgot to mention in the strategies for eating out and socializing and all those kind of extra calorie activities is to find big calorie burns. That's probably how I hurt myself, was I knew I was eating a lot, so I was kind of over pushing. But if you can do it without hurting yourself, some big calorie burns. For me, some favorites are the elliptical. I will get on that thing for an hour and it doesn't really stress any part of my body. Hiking, especially going up hills. Actually, I think that's how I hurt my back, but that's because I haven't hiked in 3 years, and all of a sudden, I'm all jazzed about hiking up hills. Go slow, but those big calorie burns can really save you. They save me. It is one of my favorite strategies for when I know I'm kind of going to overeat. Another thing you can do is intermittent fast if you know you're going to have a big dinner that night or something like that. This isn't for everybody. I'm not saying that you should have to do this, but sometimes for me, it's kind of easy for me to skip breakfast and then I eat at around 11 or 12. I'm not waiting until 1 or 2. I have a big salad for lunch with some protein on it, and that will satisfy me, and it saves me a few hundred calories that I know I'm gonna probably overeat that night. And honestly, skipping breakfast and eating a big fresh salad for lunch, I always feel really good when I do that. So that's my update. Number 3, it's slow. I'm definitely taking the tortoise route in the tortoise and the hare race, but I have still lost, since I started, probably 4 or 5 pounds, and on someone with my frame, that makes a big difference, and I'll take it. If you are on your fitness journey, hang in there. Every little bit helps. Every way that you improve your lifestyle not only is it a weight thing, really, it's a health thing. And that's kind of what I hope to convey in some of these videos. I don't really crash diet or, do crazy things. It's just lots of vegetables, cutting back on the unhealthy fats and even the healthy fats, trying not to eat too much bread. It's all those boring things, getting more exercise. But you know what? They work. And not only that, but you feel better. So good luck to you. Again, I'll link videos below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful day.